Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
Hard to believe we're already into the fourth live transmission of 2011. Before we know it, we'll be doing the last broadcast of 2011 and on into 2012. That's right, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and now it is Wednesday, the kickoff, the 5th day of January 2011. We're going to be live here for the next 3 hours, maybe longer. We have Dr. Nick Begich, always informative, his brother also, U.S. Senator, will be joining us. Begich, for many years, has been talking about HAARP and weather modification and other secretive programs. Now, more and more of what he covered 2 decades ago and wrote seminal works on from deep research of the U.S. Patent Office is now public information. So we'll go even further today. We'll look into Tesla technologies, you name it, and tie it in to the blackbirds and all the other big fish die-offs happening, not just here, but around the world. Mass birds and fish die-offs go global, spark end times panic. I do not believe that's what's happening here. And there could be some type of plausible reason this is happening. But it's the liquefaction of their innards. Many of these birds, when they hit the ground on the snow or on the concrete, there's a pool of blood around them. I mean, they have been turned into liquid. And to say that fireworks scared them and they ran into each other and did this, I've shot similar-sized birds with shotguns. And again, bird hunting, doves, quail, and they get hit by 2 or 3 of the BBs, of the 100 or so BBs that go out the end of the shotgun. They just shoot little holes in them. Nothing gets pulverized. Nothing gets liquefied. In fact, there's usually hardly any blood. They die so quickly. And then it makes, delicious eating. Don't criticize me for hunting, folks, if you eat any type of meat. I know you don't want to see the chicken that lives in a cage being tortured to death. You don't want to actually learn how to butcher a deer like the old-timers knew how to take a chicken out back and cut its head off instantly, dying, and then pull its feathers. But that's a side issue. I'm only getting into my experience with shooting birds of similar size and anatomy to tell you, birds don't fall out of trees and then have their insides liquefied. Okay? That's not birds running into each other. I've several times been out at my grandmother's house, and she has big glass windows. The house is still there. She died about 6 years ago. And you will occasionally see a game bird, like a dove, fly out the window and break its neck at high speed. Boom! You go out, get it, go ahead and cook it up. It's not really a meal, but a snack. And there's no blood, okay? There's no blood. I will assure you, birds don't turn into little blood bags and just fall from the sky. So something's going on here, and I want to get to the bottom of it. Okay, and we'll get into all the big developments on that front. Mike Adams asked the question as well, and we have his article up on Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. Why are the animals dying? Birds, fish wiped out in mysterious deaths all over the world. The National Post out of Canada reports Victorian River mysteriously turns bright green. There's birds dropping out of the sky en masse all over the world, from South America to Northern Europe to the central and southern United States. A lot of strangeness going on, a lot of record earthquake activity going on in those areas as well. Is it associated with that? A lot of scientists do believe so. But I'm done talking about that for now, because Dr. Nick Begich will be joining us coming up in T-minus 55 minutes, 46 seconds. Got a lot of other news here. The economic news is particularly worrisome because it just confirms everything we've been talking about, but shows that things are accelerating, and more of the establishment isn't even trying to paint a pretty face on it and is telling us that it is depressionary. We'll also get into leaked document, EPA knowingly approved bee-killing pesticide. That is coming up. We've got some amazing surveillance police state grid news. It's all coming up in the next hour. I'm going to go through all this news in the next hour, then Dr. Nick Begich, and we'll open the phones up while he's on with us. And then into the third hour, a whole bunch of political news as well. Stay with us. This is Alex Jones with 5 good reasons you should consider buying a solar power generator. Number 1, new climate legislation could easily double or triple your electric bill. Number 2, our new energy czar wants to control how much power your electric company allows you to have. It's true. Total government control of electricity in the name of smart grid technology is coming. Number 3, in some areas of the country, the power grid is dangerously overloaded. And now, new socialist legislation is only compounding the problem. Number 4, dangerous weather is always a threat to local grids. Every year, thousands of families lose their power from weather-related outages. Number 5, a solar power generator provides powerful backup insurance and peace of mind. Folks, I really believe in the solar power generators offered by Solutions from Science, one of my oldest sponsors. You can get more information at www.mysolarbackup.com. That's mysolarbackup.com. Remember, the government doesn't own the sun, so go to mysolarbackup.com or call 1-877-327-0365. Hello, friends. This is Alex Jones. You've heard me talk about Cal-Ben 5-star soaps for years. This is an American-made product of the highest quality and compares to nothing you will find in stores. You can buy factory direct, shipped via UPS right to your door. Check them out on the web at 5starsoap.com or call 800-340-7091. Take my word for it. Once you've used Pure Soap, you won't buy anything else. Since 1947, Cal-Ben Soap Company has been showing consumers that soap can be tough on dirt and gentle on the environment. Buy American and stay clean, as well as support InfoWars. Visit 5starsoap.com today or call 1-800-340-7091. Well, Marty, what do you have to say?
As founder and owner for over 63 years, satisfaction is guaranteed or double your dirt back. Call us at 1-800-340-7091 for a free catalog or visit our website, 5starsoap.com. Thank you.
Folks, you've heard us talk about Home Gain before. Home Gain is now offering a special promo where you get up to $150 when you buy or sell a home with a Home Gain agent you find through their Find a Realtor program. Home Gain lets you compare realtors anonymously. It's easy. Go to homegain150.com to find and compare realtors anonymously. Enter promo code HOMEGAIN150 and receive up to $150 when you close a deal with a Home Gain agent. Share the Home Gain 150 promo code with your friends via Facebook, Twitter, text, and more. Look for Max, the Home Gain Gorilla, to find out more about how Home Gain is going to pay you. Visit homegain150.com today to enter your promo code and get paid for buying or selling a house. That's HOMEGAIN150.com.
Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
Again, thank you for joining us. It is Wednesday, the 5th day of January, 2011. Dr. Nick Begich getting into Tesla technology, the massive increase in earthquakes worldwide, the bird deaths, and big mainstream news admissions of governments all over the world setting up HAARP-type antenna arrays and manipulating the weather. Now, this has been public for decades, but if you talk about it, the general population out there had never heard of it, so they were conditioned to laugh at you. It was public in the patents, in the government documents, but was not reported on by ABC Nightly News or the New York Times. So things like that were relegated to the X-Files. The documents are real, but they stick it in the X-Files show and mix it in with stories about chupacabras and hope that that discredits everything. That's been the establishment tack. But more and more of this information is coming out, and we know that the main focus has been weather weapons by governments, not just our so-called arm of the New World Order known as the United States government, but other arms of it. So we're going to be discussing that with Dr. Nick Begich coming up in the next hour. Another big story I want to get into, leaked document, EPA knowingly approved bee-killing pesticide. And it's been leaked by EPA insiders. The EPA admits that the document is real. They're very upset about it. That's why they are trying to use the WikiLeaks fiasco as a precedent to basically throw people in prison for life if they leak any type of government documents. That way, the government can just basically kill everything and everybody and get away with it. But a big report there out of Natural News up on prisonplanet.com and Infowars.com. Very important. And that integrates in with mass bird and fish die-offs go global, spark end times panic. We're going to be discussing that. I do not believe this is the end times. I do not believe it's the end of the world. But the media is going to hype that ahead of the 2012 so that it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, that it's religious that we're going into a depression, that it's religious that the resources are going to be more and more restricted, so that people see it as a foregone conclusion and don't resist. And as the weather weapons are used on us, and as more and more of the wildlife dies, they can tell us that it's all our fault and acquiesce to the global government and do whatever it says for the new green religion, and that everything will be okay. That's basically what 2012 is all about, and we're going to be breaking it down today. Separately, another little tidbit of news here. Florida professor arrested for having a suspicious bagel on a plane. That's the MSNBC headline. Passenger claimed man had suspicious package in the overhead compartment. It was a bagel. And I've seen comedians, movie stars, you name it, reading best-selling books about jihadists. And passengers see an image of a person, wearing a desert garb on a book, and see an Anglo reading it, and the plane is landed and the people are pulled off. That's just how the globalists want you. Just the wicked fleeing when none pursueth, collapsing in fear from things that are non-existent, or that you have a better chance of being struck by lightning than dying from terrorism, even if you believe it's all real. I mean, it through the movies, the culture, the hundreds of TV shows about terrorist attacking and how they're everywhere, and these plots of the heroic CIA and FBI agents torturing people and other things to stop the bad guys. The average person out there, at least was in years past, shaking in fear. Just 5-6 years ago, the number one poll, the number one threat that people talked about in national polls was terrorism. Now it's less than 10% think it's important. I mean, it's just like getting into it. It's like imagining that there's flesh-eating zombies, out in the countryside. You ever taken somebody out camping? Back in college and things, I would take girlfriends camping, and we'd go with friends. And I knew a lot of girls from the city who would get spooked by just driving through the countryside, or spooked at night. They thought that grizzly bears were going to come out and eat them. And that's because their ancient instincts are to be afraid out in the woods. But man's killed everything that's basically dangerous except for rattlesnakes and things. But they're never scared of something that's actually a threat. It's just scared of the dark. And so that's what this national or international mass psychosis is they just take the instincts of man's fear of the dark and then put a turban or a burqa on it, and the media can just show you an image of a Muslim in desert garb, and everyone just falls down groveling in fear and basically soils themselves and begins crying out for men in black uniforms to save them. Meanwhile, it's the men in black uniforms financing, in almost every case, the Muslim extremist. So that, of course, is a major issue. Florida professor arrested for having a suspicious bagel. Bagels are with Al-Qaeda now. Passengers claim man had suspicious package in the overhead compartment. So if you see something, say something. And we now have confirmed the Walmarts all over the country are beginning to phase in telescreens at every checkout counter, and then some big giant ones at the back of Walmart with government announcements. Watch everyone. Oh, my gosh, you're under danger. And this will intensify the paranoids out there to just run around in fear, looking around corners and creeping through the clothing aisles and the auto parts area, just looking under every can of Folgers coffee for a deadly Al-Qaeda. And so suddenly, as part of this mass hallucination that's enforced by the media and the thousands of anti-terror drills where they'll blow up a bus in the middle of the town and announce for a few hours terrorists have hit, and they'll lock down the schools. This happens just right up in Belton, close to where I live, just north of me. I got word about one and went